First, a story to grab attention. Imagine a dark, silent night broken by a thunderclap so powerful that it rattles windows miles away. The ground shudders, the air tastes of ozone, and you realize this is not just another strike, this is something on an entirely different scale. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Strike Point Media channel. Please subscribe and like my videos tonight. We're going to dive deep into what many are calling Ukraine's biggest strike ever, the mission that utterly destroyed a Russian headquarters, and the consequences and implications of that blow. This is not a car or a phone or a gadget review, this is a review of a military strike. We'll explore the exterior, what we can see from imagery and satellite views, the interior, what we know about command rooms, tunnels, active centers, the performance, how the strike was executed, its precision, scale, timing, the safety features, from the perspective of minimizing collateral damage and protecting friendly forces, the unique selling points, what made this strike special compared to prior ones, the cost, financial, political, and human, and finally we'll wrap with conclusions about what this strike means in the broader war. From satellite images before the strike, the Russian HQ complex looked formidable. Multiple buildings, reinforced structures, underground bunkers, adjacent protective walls, and watchtowers. From the exterior vantage, you could see heavy fortifications, blast walls, barriers, earth berms, concrete blockades. The roof structures seemed thick, perhaps layered with anti-shrapnel plating. The surrounding area had clear fields of fire, few obstructions, so defenders could spot incoming threats. You see satellite images with shockwaves, debris ejected outward, plumes of smoke, collapsed roofs, and cratered earth. Post-strike, there's devastation, entire blocks flattened, walls twisted, debris scattered across wide radius, nearby buildings damaged by shockwave, support structures shredded. The scale suggests multiple simultaneous impact points, overlapping blast zones, efficient shock propagation. From above you see the wreckage resembling the outlines of the original HQ, but as shards and fragments. The satellite record is our exterior view. It renders the before and after in stark contrast. Now let's go inside. What was likely under those roofs, in the command rooms, corridors, bunkers? This is the big interior paragraph you asked for, so bear with me. Inside that HQ, hidden under layers of concrete and steel, were nerve centers of command. War rooms with maps, screens, communications arrays, secure lines, encryption terminals. Likely underground levels, tunnels connecting to other command posts, redundant power supplies, backup communications, ventilation shafts, perhaps even escape routes or egress shafts. Some rooms may have been reinforced with like doors, blast-proof windows, and thick walls. In those inner chambers sat high-value targets, commanders, intelligence officers, communications officers, operations staff coordinating local units. There may have been equipment arrays, radio racks, server rooms, secure data centers housing situational awareness, drone feeds, satellite links. Air conditioning, cooling systems, power conduits, cabling, all running in labyrinths of service tunnels. Some corridors might have been narrow, protective, designed to resist shock waves, with double doors and airlocks. Possibly inner sanctums with additional shielding, isolation from the outer blast. Ventilation and exhaust stacks would thread upward, sensors for intrusion, motion detectors, alarms, backups all tied in. In the moments of impact, shockwaves would tear through ceiling slabs, collapse interior walls, rip cables, sever piping, rupture plumbing, fuse electrical systems, fill the air with dust, smoke, shrapnel, sever communications. Exactly what seems to have happened. Reports say command posts were destroyed, comms cut, officers killed or displaced, secure rooms breached. The internal heart of the HQ likely collapsed under overlapping blast pressure, leaving few salvageable compartments. Any survivors in inner bunkers would be isolated, with communications severed, infrastructure wrecked, power dead, ventilation compromised, and rescue extremely difficult. That is the interior devastation, the deadly core of this strike. Turning now to performance, how the strike was carried out, it appears to have been executed with surgical precision. Multiple missiles or munitions launched in coordinated waves, timed to hit simultaneously to overwhelm defenses. Some missiles may have used maneuvering warheads to avoid air defenses, possibly standoff weapons with guidance systems, perhaps loitering munitions or drones feeding targeting data. Some munitions likely penetrators, designed to pierce layered roofs before detonation. The timing was chosen for minimal civilian presence, perhaps late hours, to reduce collateral. The performance required excellent intelligence, knowing the layout, location of command rooms, entry points, underground tunnels. Real-time updates may have refined targeting. Interceptors may have been suppressed either through jamming, decoying, or prior suppression of enemy air defenses. The result, simultaneous impact on multiple target zones, overlapping blast radii, collapse zones that interacted to magnify destructive power. Reports suggest near total destruction of the HQ complex, cutting off Russian command and control in that region. The strike also severed communication lines, destroyed vehicles, radar arrays, and nearby supply nodes. The performance was high-end, fast, coordinated, accurate, overwhelming, and decisive. Now think about safety features, not in the usual sense, but in military strike design. This means measures to protect friendly forces, avoid collateral damage, and reduce civilian casualties. In this strike, safety was likely baked in via precise intelligence to avoid hitting civilian structures. Munitions may have had directional warheads or delayed fusing to detonate after penetration rather than on contact, reducing scatter. Timing chosen late night when civilian traffic is minimal. The strike probably used stand-off weapons, so delivery platforms, missile launchers, aircraft, drones remained outside enemy air defense range. Use of decoys or suppression systems to distract enemy air defenses. Real-time surveillance to abort or redirect in case of civilian risk. Coordination to lock out adjacent zones or evacuate near by civilians if possible. So the safety is in the targeting precision, fuse timing, stand-off delivery, and intelligence to avoid non-combatants. Reports suggest little damage to near by civilian infrastructure compared to the scale of destruction, which indicates careful planning. What are the unique selling points? What makes this strike stand out? First, scale. Few strikes have delivered this level of destruction to a headquarters. Second, simultaneous multi-point impact. More munitions hitting different zones at once, overwhelming defenses. Third, depth. Ability to damage underground or reinforced parts, not just superficial structures. Fourth, intelligence integration, using signals, human intel, imagery, movements to know exactly where to hit. Fifth, minimal collateral killing only combatants, preserving civilian areas in contrast to indiscriminate strikes. Sixth, strategic impact, disabling command and control, not just a symbolic target. It disrupts command chains, delays operations, demoralizes. Seventh, psychological shock, to both sides, showing precision, reach, deterrence effect. Eighth, innovation, employing advanced munitions, advanced guidance, perhaps novel drones, sensor fusion, or network targeting. All those features combine to make this strike notable, not just another blow, but a turning point caliber strike. Let's talk price. What did this cost? Not a sticker price, but the cost in resources, risks, losses, political capital, and casualties. On the resource side, missiles, drones, warheads, each expensive and limited. The planning, intelligence, time, coordination, high cost, risk, launching from platforms that might be vulnerable, risk of counterattack, diplomatic blowback, losses, if any delivery craft, drones, or operators lost. Political cost, potential escalation, backlash, propaganda, human toll, enemy casualties, both combatants and maybe unintended collateral, possible friendly casualties, also cost to reputation, if any missteps, civilian harm, or intelligence failures. On the Russian side, the cost is high. Destroyed infrastructure, loss of key commanders, logistical disruptions, loss of morale. On Ukraine's side, cost is worth it if it yields strategic advantage. In monetary terms, missiles can run into millions per shot. Drones, sensor systems, and mission planning also escalate cost. But in war, high-cost strikes are justified if the return is decisive. In conclusion, this strike stands as a milestone in modern warfare. From the soaring exterior devastation captured by satellites to the lethal interior collapse of command rooms, the performance was ruthless, precise, coordinated. Safety, conscious measures show professionalism in minimizing collateral. Its unique selling points, scale, depth, intelligence, strategic impact make it far more than a headline. The cost was steep, but the payoff may shift operational dynamics in that theater. What this strike tells us is that precision warfare, intelligence dominance, and bold execution matter more than raw force. For Russia, losing a headquarters is not a symbolic blow, it's a crippling wound to command structure. For Ukraine, it's a demonstration of reach, resolve, and growing capability. As always in war, one strike does not win a war, but this one raises the stakes. Thanks for watching Strike Point Media. If you liked this deep dive review, be sure to subscribe, like the video, hit the bell icon. I'll see you next time with more in-depth strike reviews.